Political activist and former MP and founder of the civil society organisation Accountability Course, Anel Mda, has called on Parliament to extend the review of the Constitution by another month. South Africans have until the end of May to make submissions for the review of the Constitution, and the organisation says with less than 10 days before the cut-off date, many South Africans still don't know about it. We are joined in studio by civil society organisational Accountability Course, Anel Mda, to expand on this. A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening, Mpho, and thank you for inviting us.
You've called for an extension, saying that a lot of South Africans are still in the dark, and in fact urging for the extension to also benefit the young people who could make submissions as we enter the month of June. Talk to us about some of your concerns.
Look, the concern for me, for us in particular, is that we have got a critical constitutional responsibility that Parliament is discharging of inviting the citizens of South Africa to make valuable input into areas of the Constitution that require a close scrutiny. And that invitation happens at the time when we're nearing a youth month. But an aggressive engagement of young people that does not see this process being at the center of them, it means that we would have done a disservice to young people. And we feel that it is correct for us to say, Parliament must take advantage of the Youth Month to ensure that there is an aggressive, massive canvassing of young people, and ensure that young people are not only engaged, but they know that this is an annual occurrence, that at some point Parliament in each and every year, in each and every term, it will have to invite citizens to participate. Young people are the voices of the future. They are the leaders of this country. We need to stop also this notion of always referring to young people as the leaders of tomorrow, because we never define the tomorrow. We always perpetually put them to a time that is in somewhere that we won't see. We need to start putting young people to the center of decisions that we want to take about this country, because this is their country to lead. This is their country to self-determine. And this process is not a process that you can play around with. It's very critical. We are calling for Parliament to reconsider the deadline of the 31st of May, use the opportunity of the Youth Month, and extend it to the 30th of June.
What should the public know about the part they play in this process, more so as you speak to the youth, and if we have to really look at how the youth are feeling at this point? I mean, the unemployment rate, we've seen that, and we've also heard the notion of young people during elections, that they don't feel like they're included, and they're really feeling distant from what the messaging that politicians are trying to get through to them. Why is it so important?
It's very important because at the core of it, Mpho, it's not only just about an exercise of ticking a box. It is about us making a reflection that says, this constitution that we currently have, it is now 29 years that it has presided over this country. It is an opportune time for us to do a comprehensive reflection of what is it what journey have we traversed with it? What has been the shortcomings on the Constitution? How can we fix them? Those are issues that relate to the futures of the young people that currently are not in the center of this discussion. And I think more than anything, there are glaring aspects that young people take very much interest in. I mean, Section 235 of the Constitution speaks about this, the participation of people that are non-South Africans in political office, occupying political office in this country. What does that say about the threat to the sovereignty of our country as South Africa? What does that say about our ability to subject people to a well-scrutinized process before they can even be granted even a permanent residence permit? Those are issues that threaten the livelihood of South Africans, and young people are at the forefront of those who become victims. You can never then imagine that this is not a process that they will be interested in. And even if they were not to be interested, we are the generation that they come after. We need to speak and hold the space for them. That is why it's important that as activists, we elevate our voices to bring young people to the center. They can no longer be made to stand by the the door and hold the handles of the doors for the leaders that must come in. We want young people inside. We want them at the center. We want them to be heard, to be seen, and their voices to be recognized.
And I know that you've also accused Parliament of deliberately excluding the masses of the country from performing their civic duty. How would that benefit Parliament if you're calling for this extension and you're saying that perhaps it's to, shut some people out?
You know, we do have a precedence of a parliament that thrives in silencing voices that are not going to take the tune from parliament. The last elections, the electoral reform that started as way back as year 2020, but it took parliament only up to 2023 in October for them to present their case in the Constitutional Court, for us to get a ruling at such a late stage, inconveniencing again the expression of democracy by the citizens. Even on this one, you can't tell me that Parliament of South Africa does not know that there are institutions where young people are already mobilized in their numbers, which is tertiary institutions. Why would Parliament not see it needed for it to drive an outreach that go to institutions of higher learning in order to bring young people in? And I'm saying Parliament deliberately uses this opportunity to muzzle and silence and leave South African citizens, the citizens of our country, out, because we know that we don't have a parliament that has got an energized appetite to speak on issues that the citizens of our country want their voices to speak on.
Very well. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening and coming to make those assertions in studio. Wrapping that discussion with civil society organization accountability courses, Anel Mda.